fail fast means like get it over with.
Yeah. Fail, learn,
yeah,
and
move on. Yep, exactly. So let's work on that this year. What is the perfect bite? That mix of flavors, textures, colors, and aromas that come together in one amazing amuse-bouche. Big ideas expressed in small bites. That's our podcast, a variety of inspiring topics to make your financial goals and dreams a reality.
Brought to you by Clark County Credit Union for your weekly serving of food reviews, financial education, and life hacks that your future self will appreciate. It's the perfect bite of interesting information to start your week. Welcome to episode 98 of The Perfect Bite. I'm Crystal Price.
And I'm Shannon Hiller. Let's dig in.
We love trying new dishes here at The Perfect Bite, and TIABI Coffee and Waffle Bar is a new favorite for vegan options. Next, we're going to talk about financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s. And finally, we're going to share how to perform a self-assessment.
So each week on The Perfect Bite, we visit a locally owned Southern Nevada restaurant we hope you will try, and it will become your new favorite too. This week we're sharing a spot I've been wanting to try, TIABI Coffee and Waffle Bar. And I was like, that's such a unique name.
That's fun.
It actually stands for To Inspire and Be Inspired.
Oh,
right? Isn't that cute?
To inspire and be inspired. I love it.
It was founded in 2007 by two UNLV journalism majors. And I think it's safe to say they've left that career behind. They're still going strong, and they have two locations, Maryland Parkway near Flamingo, and the other is off of Rainbow in the Spring Mountain area. They have 4.5 stars on Yelp, and they're known for their fresh waffles, unique coffee flavors, and just a great destination for breakfast or lunch. And so I was over by UNLV for something, and I was like, okay, I've been seeing this place. I want to stop by. And you just walk in, and you just smell waffles. Like, how can that not be the best, right? That's just one of the best smells.
Like a great morning.
Exactly. It felt like comfortable. So they have all sorts of waffle creations, Belgian waffles with fresh berries, whipped cream, but also a lot of savory options too. Like they're turning them into sandwiches and almost like paninis with the waffles. I don't know how to describe it. It's just really good. So I am, as many of you might remember, continuing my dairy-free journey. And so if I can find a place that has like vegan or dairy-free options, I'm like super excited. So I went at lunchtime and I ordered their vegan chorizo egg waffle with avocado, and it was so good. Like I would honestly not have known it was dairy free.
That's like a full meal. Okay. Yeah. Vegan chorizo egg waffle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they take the waffle and fold it in half like a sandwich. And then they because it was vegan, it wasn't real eggs. It wasn't real cheese. It wasn't real chorizo. Usually I'm just looking for like no cheese or the dairy free cheese. Yeah. And it just blended together like so well. I love avocado, so it was just delicious. And I actually only ate half of it. And I took it home. I picked up my son, I think, from school on the way home. And he was like, of course, what is this, in this bag? And I let him have a bite, and I didn't tell him
that it was vegan free.
That it was vegan. And he just like chowed that whole thing down. He ate it all, and he was like, that was really good. So I was like,
the vegan options are really stepping their game up. I'm so happy
They've come
for
a
that.
long way. Yeah. So 14-year-old boy approved that if you're worried about vegan stuff. But they also have other options that do have meat and regular cheese in their sandwiches. And they have, of course, the sweet options with the fruit and like I said, whipped cream, other toppings, regular syrup, and things like that. So next time I go, I think just on the avocado kick, they have this avocado toast waffle. And I just looked at the ingredients, and just as an example, you can see how their dishes are a little bit elevated. So it's a fresh waffle with sliced avocado, fresh basil, tomato, and a balsamic glaze with their special TIABI sauce. So it's not just, a piece of toast with
syrup.
Yeah, exactly. It's like nothing. Yeah. So waffles are just a great vehicle for anything. Just we could have ice cream on a waffle.
Load them up.
Avocado on a waffle, whatever you want. So I hope you will give TIABI a try. If you have a recommendation for a restaurant or dish for us to try, send us a message at ThePerfectBite@ccculv.com. We are always open to new ideas. So Gen Z is the next generation of young people entering financial independence, and today we're providing some tips on how to soften some financial obstacles.
Developing good financial habits in your 20s sets the stage for achieving your long-term financial goals such as home ownership, retirement savings, and financial independence. Knowing what financial mistakes to avoid can help you reduce financial stress in the future. So today we're going to look at Success.com's article, which talked about 7 financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s. We're going to discuss a few of those today to help you get on the right track if you're in your 20s. The first thing is not looking at the big financial picture. So for young adults starting to earn, it's important to look at the numbers on your paycheck and the numbers that are going out with your expenses. This is something I think we talk a lot about when we go out and do like our financial presentations, is like getting that budget that's actually written down or typed down, not something that's like this idea in your head, actually seeing the hard numbers, what's going in and what's coming out, because it makes a huge difference. You can actually take control of your finances and understand that money is an important part of your life. So you want to start by working on a monthly budget and creating a discretionary spending plan to ensure that you're not spending more than what you actually have in your budget.
I think it's a little bit like when we talk about paying attention to your nutrition and what you're eating.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm doing pretty good. And then you actually maybe write down
all the calories or look at like the menu and it's like, oh, that's 1,700 calories.
Right. And so you're kind of in your mind like, I didn't have very many snacks or I'm whatever. And then you actually see what you're spending. So I think definitely in my 20s, I was sort of like, I don't want to see all that. I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
So by like paying attention to it and writing it down, it makes it real.
That you and that's, I mean, you can get into trouble too. I know, when I used to be on the teller line, a lot of times people wouldn't realize it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to the gas station and buying a little drink. And then I'm going to McDonald's and it's just like a single meal for myself. And then I went here and I saw one movie, and all these small little charges take your whole paycheck. Next thing you know, it's like, well, where did my money go? Well, you went to 10 different spots and spent $15 here and there. It all adds up. So you need to write it down, see what's going in, see what's going out, and get control. Next thing you want to avoid is allowing lifestyle creep as your career grows. So what is lifestyle creep? Lifestyle creep is a common pattern of spending more money as you earn more money. So you get that nice fancy raise, and next thing you decide you're going to go shopping. No, slow down. Don't get lifestyle creep, okay? Instead of feeling pressure to keep up with the trends or having FOMO, fear of missing out, set priorities based on your value. Practice making budgetary trade-offs in other categories to support your interest. That's why it's also important to know and define your values and goals so you're not easily influenced by trends.
I think that's really easy to do, though.
It really is.
When you start to make a little bit more money, like we would say, like, that's a good time to start investing more immediately. But I think also it's easier to be like, oh no, I can go to the gym.
Yes, exactly. Very easy to slip into those things. Do it in moderation. So you get that new job, go out for a celebratory dinner, not every single day.
Yeah. Well, we had on our show a while back, Lisa Chastain talking about our money types. And we can link back to that episode. And she went out and bought a Rolex watch immediately after her raise, and that was one of her big regrets of her financial journey. So don't do that.
My next 2 paychecks gone. The next thing to avoid is not maximizing retirement savings. Again, we've mentioned this time and time again. So you start getting a little bit more money. See if your employer offers a company match on your retirement. It's best to put more than 5% so that you're maximizing your retirement savings. That's free money going towards retirement. Don't leave it on the table. And the next thing for you to avoid that we're going to discuss today is being afraid to ask questions. I like this in actually any subject, any topic in life. Never be afraid to ask those questions. There's so many social media users, influencers out there that are willing to share financial advice and experiences. It's hard to know who to believe. It's easy to follow their advice, but don't forget to ask your own questions and seek the advice of sources that are professionals, I guess. Go to your financial institution, go to your credit union, go to your employer. Those people know the right answers for your situation. Don't be afraid to ask those questions to put yourself in a better financial situation. Now, if you want to see the full list of 7 mistakes to avoid, you can visit our show notes. Now we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsor.
CCCU has a bonus for you. High five! It's 5% interest on a bonus checking account, only available at Clark County Credit Union. That's 5% on your money, and it's just one more benefit of membership at Clark County Credit Union. Isn't it time for you to join? Anyone can be a member, because if somebody's making money off your checking account, shouldn't it be you? Open a bonus checking account today and start earning your 5%, only at CCCU. Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
Next up is our Future Self segment, inspired by the Happiness Project. Self-assessments are a great way to analyze your work performance and find areas that you may need improvement. Having a good understanding of really how well you're doing in your role can give you ideas for improving, and I think it's just a great idea in general to take a step back and be like, how am I doing? Evaluate that. And so Indeed.com gives us some tips for getting started. Number one, reflect on your accomplishment. So sit down and list out your accomplishments. Think of anything that you've done, personal or professional development, things that you've worked on. If your manager set goals for you, how are you reaching those? Gretchen Rubin from the Happiness Project, she says, create a ta-da list. We've mentioned this before. So not just always a to-do list, but ta-da, like here's what I've accomplished, and just kind of keep a running list where you're like, hey, this was something that I worked really hard at and I was able to create. And I think it just gives you a nice boost of confidence that looking at the things you've accomplished, because sometimes at the end of the year, you're like, what, this year went by so fast. What did I even do? And so
it's nice to keep like a folder, like in your email, like if you get like a nice kudos from your boss or even like a coworker, just throw that email into your to-do list folder or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And then also think about, have I added skills that have made me a stronger employee? And did I seek those out? What did I do? And jot that down as well. Number two, remain honest. So I think this is taking a hard look at yourself and being honest. Are there areas where I need to work on? But also show your willingness to learn and grow from past challenges. And so maybe say, okay, here's my to-do list, but here are some things that I'm still working on, and what am I going to do to accomplish that? And set a plan. So be honest, but how am I going to work on these? Number three, find ways to grow. So I think if you look back on your goals and see, okay, I fell short here, or maybe this one didn't work out quite how I intended. How did you handle the situation? How can I learn from this? And just look for ways to improve. And I love the phrase fail fast. It's like, we don't want to never fail, because then how will we really learn? But fail fast means like, get it over with.
Fail, learn,
and move on. Yep. Exactly. So let's work on that this year. Number four, employ metrics. So when you save information to show that you met the goal or accomplished the task, like don't keep it generic. Try to add measurable numbers that show the growth or progress results. So when it's time for your self-assessment, you can pull out these documents, look it up, be like, hey, I helped grow the portfolio by this much, or I increased our sales by this much, or whatever it is that you're focused on. And also really, as you're doing this, like you probably have a real assessment for your work or your review, or maybe it's something you want to add to your resume that you grew something or contributed to growth by a certain percentage. That always really helps. So you want to show your strengths and your values, but then you also want to back it up. So if you just say like, I'm a really great, salesperson. Okay, well,
show me the proof.
What were the numbers and how does that work? So it's really just a good exercise to step back and say, where am I now? Where am I going? It can really help you as you have these discussions with your manager during your actual review time, or just for your own personal development, give you a roadmap to move ahead.
We want to hear from you. Send us your financial questions or money topics that you'd like to learn more about, and don't forget any fun local food recommendations. Our email is ThePerfectBite@ccculv.com.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode, brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. For additional money management tips and financial calculators, check out our website at ccculv.org. Now that was The Perfect Bite.